Okay, guys, can you see my screen? Is it visible?
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Yes, sir.
Right, perfect. Let's do one thing. Let's just wait for 2 more minutes for the other people to join as well, and then we'll start
Okay,
the
sir.
session.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
We're waiting.
Sure. Anyone who's viewing or joining the session today, fresh without joining yesterday? Anyone from that such? Okay. I hope everyone has joined yesterday as well. Oh, Anand, this is your first class. Achha, achha. Okay, Anand, I'll do one thing. I'll just take a quick recap of whatever we discussed yesterday. In the meanwhile, okay, there's Biswajit, Mamoon, Ravikiran. Ravikiran, did you call me in the evening, Ravikiran? I was a bit out. I was a bit busy. I'm so sorry you couldn't attend to your call.
Yes, sir. Actually, I
slipped my
called you.
mind.
I had one query. So,
Achha.
sir, I will call you. Means I will ask you on a telephone call only.
Sure. Again, I have a class till 10 o'clock after your batch also. So give me a call after 10. Okay.
Okay, sir. No problem. Thank you.
Sure. Okay. So then Shiva, Sujata, Tripti. Okay. Tripti, I have received your email as well. I'll be sharing the notepad file today. I'm so sorry I couldn't do it yesterday.
Okay, so no problem.
Sure. Okay. So a quick recap, guys, on yesterday's class. We were discussing basic networking concepts. Let me open up my networking document. Yes. So again, we are in the first prerequisite concept, guys. We're understanding what basic networking concepts are. So Anand, what we discussed yesterday was basically IPv4 addresses. Okay. So every device has a unique identity to it, and that address is known as a IPv4 address. IP stands for Internet Protocol, and this is the 4th version of it. Okay, the ones which is successfully working even in today's world. It's a 32-bit address basically. What I mean by 32-bit is that it contains 32 zeros and ones consecutively. Okay, and then it is divided into 4 octets, each of 8 bits. Okay, so this is how the address looks like in the binary format. The binary is nothing but the language that computers understand, the 0 or 1 language. Okay, but this is not that human readable. We don't understand it that easily. What we understand is the decimal numbers from 0 to 9. Okay, so what we did or what we learned yesterday was how to convert any binary number to a decimal number. Again, quite a bit lengthy. I won't be going through that. If time permits, go through the recordings. We'll be uploading all the recordings once the payments are confirmed. Okay, so once you're joining and once you make the payment, you can access the recording for yesterday's session as well. Okay, so we have understood how to convert binary numbers to decimal numbers, and from that we got the range of IP addresses. First IP being 0000, and the last IP being 255.255.255.255. These are the IPv4 address range. Okay, and then we learned what is the consecutiveness. So what is the sequence of IP addresses? What are the 2 important rules for that? And then we have seen how many IPs are there in total, 4.3 billion IPs. So where we ended the class yesterday was we learned that these 4.3 billion IPs are divided into 2 categories, public IPs and private IPs. Okay, so this is where we worked up to, guys, in the last class. Okay, so we have to continue from here onwards in today's. So yeah, this is the new thing. Okay, so let's get started, guys, without any further ado. So if you remember yesterday, as I've mentioned, there are 2 categories, public and private. Okay, public IPs are the IPs given to you from the ISP, Internet Service Provider. Okay, whatever ISP you have at your home, Act Hibernate or Airtel or Tata Docomo or BSNL, these all companies are known as Internet Service Providers. They provide you or they give you the service of internet. Okay, so whenever you want to access a website, okay, which is on the internet facing side, you always need a public IP on your system. Private IPs, on the other hand, are for intranet, for local communications. Okay, so in your device, in your network, if you have your phone, your laptop, your smart TV, your smartwatch, and so and so, if each of these devices want to communicate with one another, they have to have their own unique identities. Okay, and that local unique identity is known as a private. Okay, now if you remember, I've told you that there are 2 categories only, but there's one more categorization. All these 4.3 billion IP are again categorized into 5 classes. Okay, why classes? I'll explain that very shortly. Okay, But just to understand, as I've mentioned, there are 5 classes. Let me draw it out and show you. Just a second, guys.
Shall we write something or you?
No, again, if you want a running notes, you can write side by side, guys. Okay, as I'm teaching. But if not, as I've mentioned, just like yesterday, I'll be sharing the same recording notepad file. So I've already shared the notepad file with a lot of students, whoever gave me their email addresses yesterday. If not, I'll share again. Okay. So yeah, I was telling about 5 classes, as I've mentioned. So this is how your classes are categorized. So if I take this whole big box over here, I hope the drawings are visible, guys. Let's say this whole huge box is my IPv4 addresses, the whole IPv4 range. Addresses. How many addresses do we have in total? 4.3 billion addresses. Okay. Now these 4.3 billion addresses are divided into 5 categories. Okay. So let me draw some smaller boxes. So this is the first class, class A. Then you have class B, and then class C, and class D, and class E. So these are the 5 boxes. Okay. So this is class A, as I've mentioned. Then there is class B. Then there is C, D, and E finally. Now each of these classes again are categorized into public and private IPs. We have already seen this yesterday. So this has some public and private IPs. This has some public and private IPs again, class B. Class C also has some public and private IPs. Class D and class C, there are no private IPs. All of them are directly public. So class A has a few public IPs and a few private IPs. Okay. Similarly, class B also public and private. Class C also public and private. But class D and class E, they have no private IPs. All of them are public IPs only directly. Okay. So if you want to take a screenshot or anything, guys, you can take a screenshot of this image of like a classification of IP addresses. A very simple diagram. Okay. So from this diagram, you can remember which classes have what type of IPs. Okay. So can I clear the drawings, guys? If you're done.
Yes, sir.
Right. Now, let's try to understand the range of each of these classes now, one by one. So as I've mentioned, the first IP starts at 0000. Last IP ends at 255, 255, 255, 255. These are my 5 classes. And guys, you have to memorize these values. Okay, these 5 lines of data. So class A starts at 0000, and this ends at 127, 255, 255, 255. Since this is ending at 127, and all these 3 octets are filled to 55s, then the next number starts at 128. So class B, that is why, starts at 128,000 and ends at 191, 255, 255, 255. Since this is ending at 191, class C starts at 192,000, and this goes all the way up to 223, 255, 255, 255. Since this is ending at 223, class D starts at 224 and ends all the way up to 239, 255, 255, 255. And finally, since this is at 239, class C starts at 240. So all you have to remember is 4 numbers, guys. This 127, 191, 223, and 239. Easy ways to remember. On left side, you have all even numbers. Right side, you have all odd numbers. Okay, 0 to 127, 128 to 191, 192 to 223, 224 to 239, 240 to 255. Okay, on the left side, you have all zeros. On the right side, you have all 255s and 3 options. Okay, now these are the classes, class A, B, C, D, and E. Again, in each class, if you remember, I've told you they are public and private IPs. So in class A, between 0000 and 127, there's a range 10,000 to 10,255, 255, 255. These are the public, private IPs in class A. Any IP outside this range by default is a public IP. That is a key important rule to remember. Okay, any IP between this range is a private IP. Any IP outside this range in class A is a public IP. Okay, similarly in class B also, between 128 and 191, there's a small range, 172.16.00 to 172.31.255.255. This is the private IP range in class B. Any IP inside this is a private IP. Any IP outside this range is a public IP. Similarly in class C also, between 192 and 223, 190 to 168.00, to 192.168.255.255. Any IP inside this range is a private IP. Any IP outside this is a public IP. Okay, so just to practice out these ranges, guys, I'm going to write down 10 IPs as examples, and you have to look at these numbers. Okay, you have to look at these 8 lines of data and tell me which IP is belonging to which class and whether they are public or private IP. Okay, let me quickly write down a few IP addresses, guys, over here. Okay, one last time, just to make you understand, if we take a class A example, so between 0000 and 127.255.255.255. So this is the whole class A range, guys, as you can see, between 0000 and 127.255.255.255. So in between this, there's a small range, 10.000 to 10.255.255.255. This is the private IP range. Okay, any IP inside this range is a private IP. Any IP outside that, so from 0000 to 9.255.255.255, these are public IPs. Again, after 10, you have 11.000 to 127.255.255.255. These are also public IPs. Okay, so in the whole range, you have in between private IPs, and outside that you have public IPs. Is this clear, guys? Any question or doubt up to this part?
No. I understood.
Anyone? Right. Everyone? Anyone who has not, please do not hesitate, guys. Please let me know. If you want, I will explain again. Anyone who wants me to explain this again, guys, who has not understood this? Perfect. Okay, guys. I hope you're not being shy or anything. Please do not hesitate, guys. It's going to be your loss. If you want me to explain, I'll try to explain in much better formats as many times as you want. Okay. The main objective is that you do not get confused here. Okay, because these are very important foundational concepts. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to write down 10 random IPs. You have to look at these ranges and tell me which IPs, which class, and whether they're public or private. So let me quickly write them down. Sorry. Okay, so I have 10 IPs over here, guys. Look at the first IP, 10, 20, 30, 40. Now tell me which class it belongs to first.
Class A.
Class A, perfect answer. Why class A? Sorry?
Class
Yeah, guys,
A.
so right, perfect. Why class A? Because this is 10 dot something, and 10 is falling between 0 and 127. So that is why this is a class A address. Perfect answer. And which IP is it? Is it a public IP or a private IP?
Private IP.
Private IP. Perfect answer. Why specifically private? Because now you told me that this is class A, and class A private IP starts from 10.0.0.0 and up to 10.255.255.255. Okay, so the first octet is matching 10. After that, the remaining 3 octets, it can be any number between 0.0.0 and 255.255.255. So this is a private IP. Okay, next IP, guys.
Class C.
Sorry, class B. B for Batman.
C.
C. Okay, C for cat. How many of you say this is class C, guys? Everyone, or any other answers?
No, the
Class
190
C.
class C.
Right, class C. Correct answer, guys, everyone. Sujata, was that you who answered first, or Tripti, was that you?
Yes, sir.
Tata.
Sujata, okay, right. Okay, after that, now can you tell me which IP it is, whether it's a public IP or a private IP?
192, 168. It's a public.
It's a public
I
IP.
guess private.
Okay, I have what do you say, conflicting answers over here. Some of you are saying public IP, some of you are saying private IPs. How many of you are voting for public IP?
Yes, sir. Public.
Yes,
No,
sir,
sir,
public.
private. The private, because you have written here 192 private IP class C.
Okay,
But it
192.
is from 168. It is 165. So it should be
192,
private.
168.
It's public IP address.
The
Yes,
private
correct.
IP. So you have mentioned over
No,
OB.
yeah, Mr. Chief, point is right. Okay, if you take the first octet, 192 is matching, well and good. Okay, but if you observe the remaining 3 octets also, this is 165. Okay, and in private IP, it's starting from 168.00 to 168.255.255. Okay, number is 165, which is outside that range. So therefore, this is a public IP. Okay, so you answered correct first time, and then you changed your answer later on. So again, no confusion. So in class A, it should be between 10 and 10. Remaining 3 octets, doesn't matter what they are. In class B, it should be between 172 16 and 172 31. Okay, doesn't matter what the remaining 2 octets are. In class C, it should be between 190 to 168.00 and 190 to 162.255.255. So these two should match first 2 octets. Remaining 2 doesn't matter what they are. These 00, 255, 255 doesn't matter. Okay. Next IP 172.16.01. Which class?
Class B.
Class B. Private IP.
Class. Perfect.
Private.
Public or
Yeah.
Private, sir.
private IP. Perfect answer. Next one, guys.
Class
Class
D.
E.
Public.
Class D.
D. Okay, D. Public or private?
The public. There is no private in class B, right?
Right. Correct answer. So in class D and class E, there are no private IPs, guys. There are only public IPs. So therefore, this is a public IP. Next one.
Class A. Public.
Class A. Class A
Class
public.
public. Are you sure this is public, guys?
Class A public.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Right. Correct. Public IP, because this is 11 dot network and 11 is outside the private IP range. Perfect answer. Next one. 192.168.1.5.
Class
Class
C.
C.
Class C private.
Class C, private. Correct answer. Class C and then private. Next one.
Class B.
Class B.
Class B
Private.
public.
Public. Perfect. Why specifically public? Because this is 172.45. Okay. Private is from 172.16 and 172.31. And this is 45 inside the range. So that is why this is a public IP. Next one.
Class B public.
Class B. Public.
Class B. Public. Perfect.
B.
Next one.
Class D. Public.
Class D. Class
Class
D
Public.
D.
public.
Correct answer.
D.
D.
Public. Okay. Last IP.
Class C public.
Class C. Public. Correct answer. Okay. So what you have done over here is a great job, guys, by looking again, all the answers are right, no issues anywhere. Initially, a couple people stumbled here and there, but no worries, you have got this concept right. I hope everyone has participated in this and answered it. If you have not participated as well, I hope you are getting it in your mind right at least. Anyone who has not understood anything out of these, is it still gibberish for anyone who is not able to make out like what is happening over here? Anyone as such? Please do not hesitate to answer, guys. This is a completely new concept. Okay. So even if you're not getting it, that's completely normal. I sucked a lot more. You're doing great. Okay. So yeah, that's that. This is a great concept. Again, what we have done over here is, guys, we have taken the help of these 8 lines. I would recommend you, if time permits, please memorize this at the earliest. As soon as you look at an IP, you have to figure out just by looking at it, which class it belongs to, and whether it's a public or a private IP. It's very important for us in the coming concepts. Okay. So over here, if I go to my browser and if I check for my IP, that's my browser. If I search for what is my IP, can you tell me what IP will I be getting over here?
You will get public.
Public.
Public IP. As you can see, it's mentioned over here. This is my public IP. 49.204.238.146. Can anyone tell me which class it belongs to? It is a public IP for sure, but which class?
Class
Class B.
Sorry.
in
Okay, there's
notes
some confusion. Open this notepad file. Yeah.
49. It's I
A.
think
Class
Class
A.
class
A.
A.
Class A.
Yeah.
Class A
204,
public.
49 is public. Yes, perfect. Class A and public IPs. Okay, so whenever you check in the browser, guys, it will always show you a public IP. If you want to check a
Sir,
private IP for your local
sir, I have a
machine, yeah, Biswajit.
sir, in each time, whenever if someone is typing what is my IP, so every time it will show you only class A IP address.
Not necessarily. You can get it from class A, B, or C. Any class.
Okay. Means it
Okay.
is varying.
You will never get. Sorry.
It is varying or what?
Yeah, it will vary. Definitely, it will keep on changing. So you can get a class A public IP, class B, or class C. You will never get class D or class C. I'll explain why. But it can vary between class A, B, and C. Okay, it can alternate. Okay. Now, if you want to check your private IP, guys, I hope that is
How it
clear.
is?
How? So it depends on your ISP. ISPs have their own set of IP addresses, and from that set, they will allot one IP to your system or to your network. Okay. So whatever IPs they purchase from the various organizations, that IPs they can have. Okay, and they will purchase IPs from any range, class
Sir,
A, B, or C.
in total, all over and in like India, all this is called everyone have select systems. So whenever they are accessing the internet, so what they are the ISP or providing their IP to this machine public IP. Is that are you
Yeah,
saying?
that's what. Yeah, exactly. So wherever you're accessing internet from, every internet connection needs definitely compulsorily a public IP. Okay, so in my network, if I have 100 devices, all of these 100 devices will have the same public IP because they're connected to the same router in my home. Okay, because the router is where the ISP is giving me a line, and in that line I get the public IP. So these 100
No, like
devices will have different private IPs,
no,
but the same public IP.
so actually, sir, my question is like I am using the internet through my mobile. My mobile have Jio internet or Airtel internet, so I'm accessing through my internet from my mobile. So Airtel, so like my mobile have also IP address. So so that I was get
Def
just little confused. That
Definitely, your mobile will also, when you're using the Airtel SIM card, that SIM card is where you'll be getting from that SIM card a public IP. Right? That SIM card is in direct connection with your ISP over the wireless network.
okay, okay,
Okay, right. Okay, so those also get public IPs. Whenever you want to connect to the internet, whether it be a SIM card or whether it be a home broadband connection, any of them will always get a public IP. Now, don't get confused if you get sometimes a very long IP. So that would be IPv6 addresses. Okay, sometimes you see a number IP like this. This is IPv4, and sometimes you see alphabets also when you search for what is my IP. A very long number that is IPv6, guys. Okay, usually SIM cards get IPv6 public IPs. Okay, so do not get confused with that. We have not come to IPv6 yet. We'll discuss that later on. Okay.
okay.
Any questions up to this part, guys, for the time being?
What is the role of these classes here?
Good question. I'll be coming to that shortly. Tripti, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Tripti, I'll be coming to that. Good question. It is very important that we need to understand why we have these separate classes. Why not a single class? Why are we making it complicated? Okay. So yeah, we'll be coming to that very shortly. So next topic is understanding that only. Okay. So, but before that, one quick review. I've shown you how to see a public IP, but I've not shown you how to check a private IP. So if you want to check your private IP, guys, you have to open up your command prompt. And in the command prompt, you have to search for a command ipconfig. And this ipconfig command will give you the private IP. So right now, if you notice, I'm connected with my Wi-Fi network over here. Okay. So for that Wi-Fi, I'll be seeing over here the wireless interface, as you can see, wireless LAN. And that shows me my private IP over here, 192.168.0.5. Now, can you look at this IP and tell me which class it belongs to? 192.168.0.5.
C.
C.
Right? Class C.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, 192.168.0.5. And can you tell me if it is surely a private IP or a public IP? 192.168.0.5 over here. Right. Okay. As you can see, it is falling
Private.
between this. So that is why, therefore, it's a private IP. Okay. Now, coming to the next part, why do we need these classes? Okay, what is the necessity? Why not one single class? Okay, so for that, we need to understand something called network portions and host portions. So I'll write down what these network and host portions are, and then we'll understand these portions one by one. Class A has one network portion and 3 host portions. Class B has 2 network portions and 2 host portions. Class C has 3 network portions and 1 host portion. Class D and Class E have no host portions. All of them are network only. So as you're progressing down, you can see the network portions are increasing one by one. There's only one network portion. Class B has 2 network portions. 1 second, I'm receiving an audio back. Guys, I'm going to mute everyone. Okay, if you have any queries, please feel free to unmute yourself. Okay, because there's some background disturbance. Or you can mute yourself, guys, as well. Yeah, thank you. If you have a question, please feel free to unmute at any certain point. Okay, right. So again, Class A has 1 network portion, Class B has 2, Class C has 3, Class D and Class E all are network portions only. There are no host portions. Now, what are these network portions and host portions? Class C, we'll take the example first to let us understand. So Class C has 3 network portions and 1 host portion. And the first private IP starts at 192.168.0.0. That is the same thing which I've written over here, as you can see. Okay, so if this is the first IP, 192.168.0.0, the first 3 portions are the network portion, last portion is the host portion. Okay, so if this is the first IP, next IP will be 192.168.0.1, next IP 0.2, next IP 0.3, next IP 0.4. This goes on up to the last number 0.255. Okay, can you have an IP like 192.168.0.256? Is this possible?
No.
Right, again 255 is the maximum number you can get in any octet, so 256 is not possible. So once an octet reaches the maximum value, the next left octet will change. So this 0 now becomes 1 and this 255 becomes 0 again. This is what we saw in yesterday's class, cycling. Okay, so the 0 becomes 1 and this 255 becomes 0. Then you have 1 0, 1 1, 1 2, 1 3, 1 4 up to 1 255. After that 2 0, 2 1, 2 2, 2 3 up to 2 2 5 5, 3 0, 3 1, 3 2, like that till the end, 2 5 5 0, 2 5 5, 2 5 5. Okay, now what I mean by this network portions and host portions is that as long as the network portions are same, all these devices or all these IPs will belong to the same network. Okay, and these are just individual hosts. Okay, so this could be my router, this could be my laptop, this could be my smartphone, this could be my smart TV, my smartwatch. All these are different devices in the same network. They can communicate with each other, they can share files, they can talk to one another. But as soon as the network portion changes, so the network portion for this is 192.168.0. So as soon as this is changing from 0 to 1, the network is dividing over there. Okay, so even if you bring a device with this IP and connect it with a LAN cable to the same router, they will still not be able to communicate in the same network. Okay, because this is an IP from a different network portion. Okay, so these are a different network altogether, and these IPs belong to a different network. Okay, so what network and host portion signify is that how many hosts you can connect in each network of that. Okay, so over here in Class C, since there are 3 network portions, the first 3 are going to act as the network ID for us, 192.168.0.network. Okay, last octet is going to act as the host number. So this is the first device, the second device, the third device, fourth device, fifth device. Like that, you can connect 255 devices in each Class C network. Okay, so this is a completely different network with 255 devices. This is another completely different network with 255 devices, and they can't communicate with one another because their network portions are different. If you want them to communicate, you have to put a router in between. A router is a device which is capable of transferring data from one network to the other network. Okay, if you have a switch is capable of connecting multiple devices in the same network. Okay, so with a switch we can connect all these devices. With a router, we can make communication possible between two different networks. Okay, so that's a differently again, that's altogether a complete different concept, guys. But what you have to understand from this is that in class C, which has 3 network portions and 1 host portion, we can, all the first 3 are the network portion bits. Okay, and that is also known as the network ID. Okay, and the last portion is the host value. Okay, so 192.168.0.0, this is the first IP, then the second IP, then the third IP, then the fourth IP. Like that, you have 255 IPs. After 255, the next network starts. Okay, is this clear, Tripti? What is this network portion and host portion? Everyone else as well? I guess Tripti asked the question, why do we need these classes? So in class C,
Yes, sir.
we can connect only 255 devices. Now, when I take the example of class B, in class B, there are 2 network portions and 2 host portions. So if I take the first private IP, 172.16.0.0, this is the first private IP, guys, as you can see. That's the same thing which I have written over here. Okay, so in class B, if this is the first IP, 00, after that next IP, 01, next IP, 02, next IP, 03, next one, 04. This goes on all the way up to 0255. After 0255, then you have 10, 11, 12, 13, up to 1255. Then 20, 21, 22, 23, up to 2255. Like that, the cycle repeats again and again and again. And finally, you reach somewhere 255, 255. Now, once these both octets are filled, this 16 now will change to 70. Same concept. As long as the network portions are same, okay, 170 to 16, as long as this number is same, all these are different devices in the same network. But as soon as the 16 changes to 17, the network will divide over there. Okay, now these are a completely different network IPs. These are a completely different network IPs. And this is also a completely different network again. Now, how many devices can we connect in each network of class B? From 172.16.0.0 till 172.16.255.255, we can connect a total of 255 into 255 devices, which is 65525 hosts. In class C, we could only connect 255. In class B, we can connect 65,000 devices. Is this clear, guys? Any question up to this part? Anyone?
Sir, actually, could you please explain little bit again?
Okay, class A, C or class B, this Vijay?
No, actually, I understood class C has some portion, class
Yeah, one
class.
second. Right, sure. So again, as I've mentioned, each class has its own network and host portions. Class A has only 1 network portion, class B has 2 network portions, class C has 3 network portions. What I mean by these 3 network portions are that in class C, if I take the first private IP, 192.168.0.0. So from this 00 IP till 0255, okay? So this last octet is the host portion. What is host?
Yes.
Host is nothing but an individual device, okay? Your laptop, your phone, your router, your smart TV, smart watch, whatever appliance is there or whatever device is there, that is a host. So each of these is a different device. Okay. Now, if I connect my phone now with a different IP, 1.1 IP or 1.0 IP, and if I bring it in this network, it will still not be able to communicate because these IPs belong to a different network, 1 dot network. These are the 0 dot network. Okay. So in class C, like that, in each network, you can connect maximum 255 devices only. If I take class B next, there are 2 network portions and 2 host portions. So that is why from 16.00 till 16.255.255, all these are in the same network. So that is why you can connect maximum 255 into 255 devices. That is 65,525. Is this clear now?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Anand, might be a bit confusing if you're completely new to networking concepts. I hope you're getting along.
Yes, sir, I'm getting, but there is a question in class is I think you have said that we need a different router to connect between those 2 networks.
Yeah, definitely. Again, whenever you have 2 different networks and you want communication possible between 2 different networks, you would need a router in between. For a same network communication, you need a switch. Okay.
Sir, can you explain that again? I didn't get that. How
Yeah,
like
sure.
we need a
Let me
different
again,
router.
basically, if I show you how a switch looks like. networking switch. This is your switch, Anand. Okay. So this is what you use in companies. Okay, and you can see this is a 32 port switch. So you can connect 32 devices. Okay. So I can connect 32 systems over here. Okay. So a switch is a device that is used for same network communication. Okay. If you have 32 computers, you can connect a LAN cable from each computer to the switch, and they will be able to communicate with one another. Okay. Well, again, condition being each of them is getting an IP in the same network. Okay. So all of them should belong to the same network IP. Okay. If I bring a device with 1.1 network, and if I put and connect it to the switch in this network, and if I put the LAN cable also, it will still not be able to communicate. Although it is physically connected, logically it is getting a different IP from a different network, so it won't be able to communicate. Now, when you come to routers, so networking routers. Okay, this is how routers look like. Okay, might be a bit similar to switch though, as you can see, but somewhat different. Okay, a router is capable of connecting two different networks altogether. Okay, so let's say I have switch A and switch B. To each switch there are 32 devices. If I want these two different networks, okay, let's say switch A is a 0 dot network, switch B is 1 dot network. Now if I want them to communicate with together, I have to connect these both switches to a router in between, and then through the router they can transfer packets. Okay.
Okay.
This is clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
Right. In our home network also, that is the same thing that happens. Okay. This is how our home router looks like, the Wi-Fi router, and that router is communicating between two different networks. What are the two different networks there? One is the internet, the other is my local network, local LAN network, Wi-Fi LAN. Okay. My phone, my smart TV, all these are getting private IPs. So when these private IPs want to communicate with the public IP, you have a router in between, communication between two different networks. I hope this clarifies more.
Yes.
Right, perfect. Any other questions, guys, up to this part before I go with class A example now? Okay, now when we take class A, if you remember, I've told you class A has one network portion and three host portions. So first IP is 10.0.0.0. So from 10.0.0.0 all the way up to 10.255, 255, 255, all these IPs belong to the same network because the first network portion is constant. Okay, doesn't matter what the host portions are. Okay, they can be anything and they will still belong to the same network. As soon as this 10 changes to 11, there the network divides again. Okay, so from the first IP 10.0.0.0 to 10.255, 255, 255, we can connect a total of again 255 to the power 3. Okay, those many devices. Okay, so in class A we could only connect 255 devices. In class in class C we could connect only 255 devices. In class B we could connect 255 into 255 devices, and in class A we can connect 255 into 255 into 255 devices. So that is the main difference between the classes, guys. Okay, each class has its own what you could say limitations. Okay, each class is connecting a certain number of hosts only. Okay, if you want to connect less than 250 devices, you can go with class C for small networks. If it is a multinational company where you have more than 255 devices, then you can go with class B or class A. Class D and class E are special IPs, guys. We do not use them. They are not given to the general public. They are used for other services such as military services, government portals, news broadcast or weather telecast, all these research and development, all these various organizations use class D and class E. Okay, they are not given to the general public. Is this clear, guys? Any questions or doubts up to this part? Anyone? Anand, Biswajit, Mamun, Ravikiran, Shafiuddin, Shiva, Sujata, Tripti.
Oh, sir.
Right.
Okay, sir.
Tripti, I hope it is clear for you now, like why we have different classes. This was your questions, basically.
It
Yes,
is
sir.
clear.
Yeah, I guess Tripti was the person who asked. I hope it is clear for her.
Yeah, it's clear.
Right. Okay. Again, yes, we have a few more topics to discuss, guys, actually. But one thing, I guess there's a couple more students also who are supposed to be joining. Okay, again, there's no confirmation on the fees as well. a couple of you have confirmed the payment and a couple of you have not yet. Okay, so that is why what I'm going to do is I'm going to end the session over here for now. Okay, we have 15 minutes left out, so if you have any questions or doubts, you can let me know. If not, I'll share the document now. So please share your email addresses, guys, if you have not shared yesterday, so that I can share this notepad file again. So I'm going to be sharing the same file which I shared yesterday. 1 second. So yesterday I got 5 email addresses. One second.
Sir, my email address shafiuddin70@gmail.com.
Oh yeah, 1 second, Shafiuddin. Just a minute. Shafiuddin.
SHAFI.
Yeah,
UDDIN.
UDDIN.
UDDIN. SYED.
SYED.
70.
70.
@gmail.com.
@gmail.com. Okay. Any other
Sir,
email
share the
IDs?
yesterday's file also.
Yeah,
Sir,
same
my
file. No difference. Same file itself.
sir, my email ID. Happy is Anand.
Okay, I got it. Any other emails, guys, which I've missed out?
Yeah, you did. My one, I think you message.
Sir, can I get yesterday notepad also if it's available?
Yeah, same file, guys. I have not changed the notepad file. It is the same notepad file as yesterday itself. Okay, so it's the same notes, no difference. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Hi, sir. Can you write on my email?
Yes, please. You could let me know your email.
Yeah, Mamun, MAMUN.
MAMUM.
No, N. Last N.
Oh, N.
CHY.
CHY.
72@gmail.com. 72.
72@gmail.com. Right. Guys, please check your email addresses. If any mistakes, if any typos are there, please let me know. Is that it?
That's correct.
Okay, perfect. I've attached the textpad file. It is the same notepad file as yesterday, as I've mentioned. Okay, and I've sent it.
Sir, there is class tomorrow.
Good question. Yeah, again, guys, tomorrow there is no question, no class. I forgot to inform that. Tomorrow is a festival, Ganesh Chaturthi. So wishing everyone a very happy Ganesh Chaturthi. Tomorrow we have no class, guys. We'll have the next class the day after tomorrow. Again, please make the payments, guys. If you have not, I'm taking a short session today just to again confirm on the payments. So the institute will give me the payment list by after tomorrow, and depending on that, the link might change soon. Okay, so only to the people who have paid or made the fees, you will be getting the new link, guys, to continue the sessions. Okay, so yeah, that's that, guys. Nothing further for our session today. I'll exit and I'll see you day after tomorrow.
Hi.
Tomorrow there's no question, guys.
I have a question. If you are not Raj, can you? I know you started the program. Sorry, the training program. The ethical hacking, right? This one.
Yes.
This is ethical hacking. So, what's your total plan? How you will proceed one by one? That's what I want to know. Your plan.
Oh yeah, after CF is done, if anyone is interested, we can go with the next advanced course, which is web application pen testing. So I teach that as well separately. So once you're done with CEH, there's another course, web application pen testing for bug bounty, which primarily focuses on website security. Okay, how do you check for vulnerabilities on websites? What vulnerabilities really exist? For example, such as SQL injections, cross-site scripting, broken authentication, CSRF, cross-site request forgery. These are the vulnerabilities that pen testers need to test for. Okay. The reason why I teach that course specifically is because that is the main booming field in India at the moment, website security, because there's a lot of companies that are coming online, Every business is shifting online. So with the rise in websites, there is a necessity for a rise in website fraudulent activities as well. So after CH is done, you can join that course, Web Application Security.
So
Actually, what the course fees of web application security?
Same, that is also 8,000 rupees.
Okay, and cloud security same.
Cloud security is a bit different. That is around 12,000 guys. But again, I am setting up the lab for it at the moment. So at the moment it is on hold because my AWS plan is completed. So I have to refresh that again. I have to renew that. Okay, and then start it up. So at the moment there is no cloud security guys. It might take a while. It might take a month or so.
Yes, sir, actually, I
So
wanted to like after completion of this course and learning all the things, practicing, then I was thinking to learn cloud security.
Sure, again, as I've mentioned, I'm going to be providing the resources for that in the meanwhile, if you're planning on specifically focusing on cloud security. And once I start a live batch, you can join that batch as well.
No, actually, I wanna like join cloud security as well as web application security both.
Sure. Again, after CH is done, I'll right away start web application security. After that, again, we can take cloud security separate. Okay. Mamun, you have
So,
raised your hand if you
yeah,
have any question.
so basically you will focus first two. One is the ethical hacking, and once it's done, then you will focus on web
Yeah,
applications.
exactly.
This is the main course you are focusing, right?
Yes. So this is the foundational course, Mamun. Again, there's some
Yeah,
background
that's what
disturbance.
I want. Yeah, that's what I want to know.
Only after this course is done, I would recommend you go with the other courses. If you don't go with this one first, those might seem a bit confusing because we won't be going with any basics at all. We directly dive into the advanced concepts. And if you're a complete fresher to the cybersecurity domain, doing that would be quite troublesome, you could say.
I got you.
Right. Yeah, Anand, you have raised your hand.
Sir, we are going to learn ethical hacking over here in 8,000 for 45 days, right, sir?
Yes.
And sir, if after that, if we want to attend cloud security or web application, then we have to pay more, like 12,000 or something, right?
For web application, it is 8,000. For cloud security, that's 12,000. Again, cloud at the moment, as I've mentioned, is not running. There's no upcoming batch because usually people never go for cloud security. I don't have a formation of a batch for that. Usually students go with CH and web application and they start applying for jobs. So, but if that's the case, we have to take a separate one-on-one session for that.
Sir, my next question is, can I have the course contents, like what we are going to cover in ethical hacking?
Yes, sure. Let me attach that over here itself. Yesterday also someone asked. Let me do that. 1 second. Yes. I've
Sir,
sent that also, which
thank you,
contains
sir.
the course.
And my next question is, sir, after like completing this course, after 45 days, are you going to help us to get a job or to build our resume, something like that?
I definitely will help you with your resume building. I'll show you a sample resume. I'll show you how to create your own resume. I'll give you the sample interview questions as well. And I will also give you, again, I provide usually this website at the end of the course. This is a website specifically for cybersecurity job roles, jobs.null.community. So you can access this website and start applying for jobs. This is only and only specifically for cybersecurity job roles, nothing else. Okay. So this
To
is
access website, like we have to pay or it's free?
no. You don't have to pay anything at all. This is completely free. You can access, you can see the job listings, and you can see what their requirements are. Okay, and you can start applying.
Because like I don't know like where to apply, like I don't know it. So that's why I'm asking like if DurgaSoft is going to help us in getting a job or
DurgaSoft does not have any consultant as of yet, as I've mentioned. But again, we help students directly in assisting. Like this is how we could assist. We'll show you where you can apply for jobs. We'll show you how to prepare for those, what are the interview questions, and we'll give you the training for it. I'll just provide a document which contains the common questions, cybersecurity questions required. Okay, I'll give you your resume support. I'll help you build your resume, and then you have to apply on your own and give your shot.
Okay. So my next question is like, as a fresher, what kind of package we are going to get after doing this course?
If you're a complete fresher, Anand, I would assume you would be getting around 40 or 35 to
35 or 40, like, okay. Okay. So that's it. I'm done.
Is this website for international or only for India?
Hello?
Is this website that you are showing, is it for all over the US, so all over the India or
All over India, not for US, only for India, guys.
okay, great.
Right. Any other questions, guys?
Sir, on day after tomorrow, we are going to start a fresh class, or there will be a demo.
No demo, no. We'll continue from where we left off. Same.
Oh,
Okay, so we'll be continuing exactly from where we left off, and I won't be starting fresh again. But again, if you've missed out one of the previous classes, you'll be getting the recording once you've made the payment. And if you have any questions from that, you can just let me know. We can take a separate backup session for that over the weekend or so.
okay, sir.
Okay. Any other questions, guys? Please do not hesitate to ask.
Sir, can I have one? Like, I want to ask one more question. Sir, is it possible to get a job like without having a certificate in
Yeah,
in a
definitely.
but
Again, as
in
of
Mhm.
yeah, cyber. In one thing about cybersecurity domain is certification is not a criteria. Your skill set is. So my recommendation to students who are not planning on doing a certification also is to learn as many courses as possible. So go with CH first, then go with web application security, and start applying your knowledge in freelancing websites. So you have bug bounty programs online where you can start searching for bugs for companies directly and report it to them. And those reports you can include in your resume just to show that you have skill sets required for joining that company. Even if you're not certified, you have performed bug bounty programs, you have assisted companies in resolving bugs and vulnerabilities. So that adds a credibility to your resume without a certificate.
Okay, so then you are also going to teach a bug bounty, how to
Yeah,
find
that's a
bug.
different. After CH, if you're interested, if you are planning to do, you can do the web application security course. That is the bug bounty program.
Okay. Oh, in web application, bug bounty is coming in that portion.
Yes. We'll be discussing basics of web application CH also, okay, but not in depth. If you want to learn in depth, that's a completely different course.
And sir, if I want to move in a government sector, if I want to get a job in government sector, uh, like as a ethical hacker, then like what
Government
I have to do?
sector, they usually go for forensics, Anand. So if you're going with cybercrime departments and all, they usually handle cybercrime frauds and stuff. So for that, they would request forensics course. Okay. So again, we are not providing forensics at the moment, but that's a suggestion. If you're planning on going with the government sector, web application also is fine. Finding vulnerabilities for websites from the government. Okay. If not, if you're going into the cybercrime department, they would request or recommend as a requirement for cyber forensics, understanding how to retrieve a hard disk data, or understanding where a packet has come from, or where the attack initiated. All it comes under cyber forensics.
So sir, there is only one job in government sector, like forensic.
Most of, again, I had one of the students who was specifically planning for government sector, and he got the job in cyber forensics. So from that experience, I'm talking.
Okay. And so in YouTube, in several videos, I saw that people are talking about like if you want to make a career in cybersecurity in government sector, then you have to give SSC exams, and then like CBI or IB or UPSC. Then from there they are selecting like as a cybersecurity officer, something like that. So is it true or false?
Necessarily. My student, which I trained, he did not have any UPSC examination or anything. He just took the course up. He tried to learn a few basic tools from the internet for cybersecurity, forensics, and he started applying for internships in complete job. Hello,
Yes, sir.
guys, can you hear me?
Yeah, sir, like voice was broke for a few seconds.
Oh, 1 second. I guess it's due to my battery. Let me connect my charger. Right, guys, can you hear me? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Guys, am I audible? Yeah. As I've mentioned, Anand, my student who did the course early, he did not have to write any UPSC exams or so. All he did was he applied internship first. So every state has its own cybercrime department. In that cybercrime department, you have job listing postings as well, sometimes for internships also. So you can start applying there, and from there you can proceed further.
Okay. So it's not necessary to go in a CBI department or IB department. You like we can do certification courses and we can apply for internship in government cybersecurity. Then we can have job over there.
Right, exactly. That's a much easier path to follow rather than writing UPSC and all, which is quite tough and competitive, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, sir.
Right. Any other questions, guys?
So we have to make payment in like one time, or we can split that payment.
Oh,
At
that you
the,
have to ask Institute Anand. I do not handle the payment part, only the teaching department. So payments and all, you'll have to contact DurgaSoft directly, please.
okay.
Any other questions, guys?
So can I have your email ID? If
Yeah, I've sent you the notepad file, right? That's the same email, cybersecwise@gmail.com. Okay, and then I've also shared a browser that contains the WhatsApp number also. So if you have any questions or queries, you can contact me on WhatsApp. So once the batch is finalized, once all the students are finalized with the payments and all, I'll create a WhatsApp group also. So if you have any questions or so after every session, if you have any doubts or so, you can post your questions in that, and I'll keep
so
replying.
don't have any WhatsApp number?
Yeah, as I've mentioned, it is there already in the email which I've sent.
Oh, in the email. Okay.
In the email, in the
Sir,
browser,
so,
in the browser, you have my contact number as well.
okay, sir, it's your or it's a DurgaSoft.
No, my number itself.
Okay, sir, I will get that.
Sure. Any other questions, guys? Okay, assuming there are no questions anymore. Anand, Ravikiran, then Sujata.
No,
Right.
sir.
Okay, guys. So yeah, that's it, guys. Nothing further for our session today. Again, as I've mentioned, no class tomorrow, guys. Happy Ganesh Chaturthi. And I hope it is tomorrow. I'm not wrong with the dates and all. So sorry if I
Sorry,
am. So yeah, wishing everyone a happy Ganesh Chaturthi.
same to you, sir.
And yeah, tomorrow is Ganesh. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, tomorrow is Ganesh Chaturthi, right, guys? Is the festival tomorrow itself?
Tomorrow. Yes,
Yeah,
tomorrow.
tomorrow.
Oh, perfect, guys. Okay, I'm wishing everyone a happy Ganesh Chaturthi, guys. And I'll see you day
Same.
after tomorrow. We'll resume day after. Same time, guys, 8 o'clock.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, right. Sure. Bye-bye, guys. Have a good day tomorrow. Take care.
Thank you, sir.